So Jean, what are we going to be looking at today?
Today we're going to just quickly look at the big complications. The first issue that we have is the wheelbase of the Beetle being very short. We've got the track issue, which is very narrow. And of course we've got no space to put a big V8 engine in.
So the first thing that is quite obvious is I recognise the yellow Beetle, but it's a bit lighter than the last time we saw it alongside the GT40. Tell me, what have you been doing to this bodywork?
I've had to do a bit of cutting and grinding and modifying, and fortunately the advantage there is we've lost a lot of weight as well. If I can just quickly point out the obvious, if you look inside the Beetle, there used to be a back seat and what's known as a firewall, which is the differentiation between the inside of the car and the engine. All that's been cut out. A lot of the wheel well has been cut away, and all the internal stiffener panels have been cut away.
So why have you done all of that?
We need space. We need space for a big V8 and a gearbox and suspension, and it's definitely not going to fit into the small compartment we had for the little 1600 engine that was in the car.
Another question. All of the running gear is going to be pretty much new, but this body is 50 years old. It's probably as old as you.
Prior to what you've seen already repaired here, there was a lot of rust on the car. So we've cut some of the rust out and welded in new panels, but also wherever it looked a bit iffy, we sandblasted it and put a rust converter on it. And there's going to be a lot more work on the inside.
So the other thing that's quite apparent is that the original car was air-cooled. Your big V8 is going to be water-cooled.
With water-cool, it means we need a radiator and a lot of water pipes. Now the water pipes, that's not a complication, that we can put in anywhere, but the radiator will definitely be a small complication. So the radiator will sit in the front here, which is another reason why a lot of metal was removed here. And then a lot of footwell has been removed for the front suspension.
You know, this is second nature to you, but for almost everyone watching this is going to be like completely weird. So my obvious observation is that you've got a piece of wood that you're building the car on. And as far as I can remember, the only sports car that's built on a piece of wood is the Morgan sports car from Worcestershire in England.
Okay, so the plywood is really just a template, trying to save a bit of time and money. So instead of building the first sheet, which will be in aluminium, probably about 6mm aluminium, instead of cutting and grinding and changing it during the process, we're using wood. It's easier and quicker to cut and grind and modify, and when we're happy with the design, we'll substitute it with the aluminium.
Another very important part of the build, and something that you definitely don't see when the vehicle is finished, is the jig table.
Okay, so the table is a datum point of which we calculate all the measurements on the car. So we've got a true surface here, the horizontal plane, and the horizontal plane would be the lowest position of the car once it's finished. So if we decide the car is 10 centimeters off the ground, this is the 10 centimeters off the ground, and the car will be from here up. So that's the one thing. The second thing is, because of us being governed by the wheelbase of the Beetle, which is 2.4 meter, on the jig table we indicate to ourselves where the front wheels will run, the center of the front wheel, and we will indicate the center of the rear wheel. This is a plate which dictates the position of the rear wheel and the way it bolts onto the car. So we've got 5 holes at a particular pitch circle diameter, and each manufacturer will have its own PCD. So Volkswagen is a different hole pattern, Toyota is a different hole pattern. This is our hole pattern for our car. So the wheel would bolt in from this side, and the suspension would work from this point back towards the car.
Thanks, Jean. I am definitely more in the know, and hopefully you as the viewer are more in the know as to exactly what's going on. I still think you're a crazy young man.
Thanks very much.
As well as building the V8Stealthbeetle, we want to build a following. So please jump onto our social media platforms, Share these videos, tell all your friends about V8 Stealthbeetle. Believe me, things are really going to start cooking very, very soon. And I think really the big thing is engage with us. Leave any comments or questions that you've got. We will get back to you. And for more updates, you need to subscribe right now to our YouTube channel, and you can do that by clicking on me or clicking on Jean. And we will see you very soon.
Coming soon.